episode of Command Combat Battle Reports. We continue the Blood, Guts, and Glory Tank Aces campaign as American and German forces clash in the Lorraine Valley near Ericourt. Both sides are being scored based on how well each individual does in his battles, and there is one player for each of 3 pads, green, red, and blue. The players are scored individually and as a team. Whichever team wins the most points wins the campaign, and the individual who scores the highest single points is the top tank ace. Today's battle will be the last on the blue path at the town of Luenville.
Bloonville, it's where the tunes come from.
Being the last battle along their line, the combatants have to determine a scenario, and it is hold the line. One player will have to defend the town while the other has to take it.
This will be a hard one for the defender since he'll only get a few units on the table.
Yeah, but he does get an ambush, and since the defender will be the German player, I'll bet he'll do something with those Panthers. So far he only has his command element visible on the table.
The Americans, meanwhile, have a bunch of Easy 8s in formation behind the hill, along with some air power which flies in and attacks the German panzers.
Michael's been struggling this campaign. He always starts off strong, but he's lost every game.
Well, this battle I'm hopeful that with my full forces on the table I'll be able to get up there and surround him before he's able to do anything.
Most of Michael's tanks have been Easy 8s. They move fast and pack a strong punch, but they're expensive, so he has only a few of them. He's only got one ability so far, and he's chosen Number Cruncher, which gives his tank ace 4 extra inches of range.
Ladies.
Chris, meanwhile, has had a good campaign. He's won all 3 games, each of which he snatched out of defeat, for a total of 17 points.
I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm still going to try to remain in the town because of the great defense abilities. But instead of just having him come out to me, I'm going to also try to see if I can come out to him.
His strongest tank is the Panther, which has a powerful gun and strong armor, but is weak on the sides. His experience has gained him the abilities Prior Experience, Spray and Pray, and Lend a Hand, which allows his ace to shoot faster, more accurately, and makes him an all-around badass. We'll be playing today at Game Empire, Land of 1,000 Games. Let's get to it. We start with the American turn, and they bring in air power to the only tanks on the board. It's hard to see them next to buildings, but it's their only target. Next, the command tanks move up the middle toward the road, while the rest of the tanks sweep around the side toward the ford, and I don't mean Harrison. And the plane scores a hit! It takes out the second in command. That's half the German force on the board.
It's already looking bad for the Germans. They're not doing a very good defense here, and the commander dashes behind a building for cover.
I don't blame him. And Chris is carefully lining up to get a shot through the windows, but it does no good, and he misses. The American tanks are rushing up to the ford on the far edge of the table, but the first one bogs. The second one moves up, checks, and makes it through. Then the third one moves up, checks, and bogs. That's 2 bogged Shermans. This is terrible for the Americans. The next one gets through, and the remainder of them seem to be passing by, but they're really going to miss those 2 tanks.
Now the rest of the tanks fire, and the air cover comes in, but no one can hit Chris's tank ace.
Now we move on to the German turn, and here come the Panthers out of hiding. They drive up to the face of the Shermans, and they hit! That's 2 smoking Shermans. Now they need those stuck tanks.
And they're going to have to really hoof it, since the Germans use their stormtrooper move to back away. Take that, Empire!
Looks like one of their tanks came unstuck, and they're chasing down the Panthers. 2 command tanks, meanwhile, move up toward the bridge. They all fire, and 1 Panther is destroyed. The air cover comes in and tries to take out the tank ace for an easy morale failure, but he still misses.
I tell you, Chris is wise to keep his tanks close to the buildings where those airplanes have trouble seeing them, and I have trouble seeing what's going on. Where are you, Bob?
Well, you can't see me through the smoke, but maybe you can see Yankee Joe. He's calling up here for something. What's going on, Yankee Joe?
The Germans have gotten their reinforcements! They have 4 Panzer IVs! You stick it right in the vein!
I think that's Panzer IV, Yankee Joe.
Ow! I failed Greek!
They're firing, and they take out the last 2 Sherman tanks on the flank. The only one remaining is a Bog tank. This is bad news for the Americans.
He still has the 2 command tanks, which he's putting into the woods. They're presumably to make a last stand. Looks like they're far enough inside that the Germans are going to have to go to them.
They're heading to the bridge to get across, but what's this? Chris has given an opening to Michael that might cost him. His tanks are close enough together that the air power might take out several of the panzers. This could be a game changer. Mike rolls but doesn't get any air.
The command tanks have scooted forward for some of the fun. And between all the fire, they've taken out 2 panzers. This game just got interesting. Do I need to sober up?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea there, John. The German flare fires back and takes out the second in command.
Well, that's a shame. And Michael's gonna call it quits. He knows he can't do any more, so he's thrown in the towel. It's another German victory.
That's 3 in a row for Chris, giving the German side 9 points and leaving the Americans with 7. Michael got a few more kills, bringing his experience points up to just shy of another skill. That's going to be tough for him in the final battle. Chris has meanwhile gone all the way up the experience points track and gone 4 over. He's in the running to be top tank ace.
Well, it happened again. I started off strong, rolled really well in the first turn maybe, and then from then on it didn't do so well. My plan worked as far as getting up there, but he was able to pull off those last rolls.
Right off the top, he knocked out 2 of my tanks, and I just barely was able to pull out a victory by surrounding his forces from the right flank and keeping him at bay with my forces in town.
That's yet another German victory. Tune in next time to see the grand finale Battle Royale, where all 6 players will compete in one huge battle to determine the winner of the campaign and the top tank ace.
From all of us here at Luenville, happy gaming, everybody.
Da 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 da.